Hi, my name is Blaž and I'm the product manager at Metrel. Today we go through all the accessories you get in the MI3360 OmegaPAT XA's standard set, and we'll take a closer look at the most important features and functionalities of the instrument itself. So let's first start with the unboxing. So once we put everything outside the box, you see that we get this nice bag with all belonging accessories and the appliance tester itself. So let's start and check what kind of accessories we get alongside to the test instrument. So first we can see here that we have two ISC leads, which can be used either for supplying the test instrument or for testing ISC and extension leads. Then we can see here that we have a download cable, which can be used for downloading the data from the instrument to the PC software. We have also here a test lead to which we can attach this crocodile clip and also this probe. Almost forgot. So we have also this one. So this is a nice Stabilo smart pen, which can be used for navigating through the touch color screen of the appliance tester itself. So we can now open the cover of the instrument and we see what we have here. So this is a nice spreadsheet with all the information of the belonging accessories. Then we have this list of paper with the administration password, so don't forget to keep this one on a safe place. We have a quick guide of the instrument. We have a CD with the belonging software and other documentation, and we have also this calibration certificate. And that's about it, what we get when we unbox the instrument. So as you can see, this appliance tester is packed in this very nice, nicely shaped hard case, and it is equipped with a touch screen of 4.3 inch. Here from the side you can see different ports. So it has a mains connector, so of course the instrument is mains operated. It has two additional communication ports, 9-pin communication ports for connecting external wire gadgets such as barcode scanners or NFC readers, and also QR barcode printers. Then we have two additional probe connectors for connecting of very precise external leakage current clamps. Then if we focus maybe an additional one when we are in this position, so we can also show here that we have a USB connector for connection of the download cable for transferring the data. Then we have a micro SD card slot here equipped with a micro SD card. It comes with 8 GB inside. Then we have also test ports here for checking of fuses, different size of fuses. And here on the right side we can see the whole bunch of different test terminals, starting here on the right up corner with the test terminal where we connect our mains lead for testing of different tests where the probe is needed, for example earth continuity, leakages, touch leakage for example, or insulation resistance with probe. Then we have our port for connection of ISC lead. So between ISC port and this mains socket port we can connect basically every kind of extension lead. Also, if these extension leads are equipped with the RCD, all these tests will be performed between these two measuring ports. Then we can see additional two ports, so brown and green, for testing of appliances which are actually fixed connected. Then we have additional communication port, additional 9-pin communication port, where you can actually connect also the active 3-phase adapter, which can be used for testing on bigger appliances, bigger electrical equipment, and we can actually measure real leakages and also different connections of three-phase cables. Of course, the last one here, it's our mains connector, and from this one we actually perform all the needed testing. Now we will start focusing on the appliance testers functionalities, menus, etc. So we will plug the instrument and go further with our presentation. So let's now connect this beauty to the mains, and what we can first notice is this instant boot up of the appliance tester itself. This means that we will have no delays whatsoever due to slow boot up management, as we can find at many different other electrical appliances. So let's now talk about general settings. So if we enter the general settings menu, we can first notice that we have a menu for selecting different languages. Well, in our case there is only one, because this appliance tester is meant to be used in the UK region, but don't forget that the instrument itself can be also used in other regions, meaning that there can be other languages and supported, and also different types of main plug connectors and other accessories are available. So language, then we have this date time menu where we can set our current date and time. This is quite important because this information will be also stored alongside to all measurements, meaning that we will have traceability of our test results. We have a workspace manager here. About the workspace manager itself, maybe a few words. So there can be different workspaces used in this instrument, and each workspace can actually be as a master project, let's say. What is the difference between this, I will explain also later, but let's just pretend that or imagine that we have different workspaces, and inside each of these workspaces we can basically create our own structure with different projects, different appliances. What is the downside of the workspaces themselves? It's that we cannot copy data from one workspace to another, but we can only work with one workspace at the time. But nevertheless, if you are working on different locations, I usually recommend to work within one workspace and then create a different workspace when you move to different location. We have here one predefined workspace created already from Metrel, but if you decide to create a new one, just simply click on create and there will be new workspace created. Entering these workspaces is possible from other menu. This is just workspace manager. Then we have here Autosequence group manager. It is about the same principle as it was with the workspaces. So we have different groups of auto sequences here. Due to the fact that this instrument is both appliance tester and medical appliance tester, we have two groups of auto sequences preloaded from Metrel. So we have auto sequences based on the code of practice, and also auto sequences which are based on the standard for medical appliance testing. Then we have here in the middle user account settings. What we can do here is we can basically create different users which will be using this equipment, and if the user is logged into the device itself, all measuring results which will be performed with a login user will have this user information stamp. This is again very nice feature for traceability. Default password for this user account setting is admin. After we enter it, we have another options here, so we can actually sign in at every reboot, and we can also decide whether we would like to sign in or not. Then we can add different accounts. For example, I will add now a user blush like this. I can also add a password, unique password for each user. Let's just make 4 zeros and add. So we have now added one user, and as I said, we can add many different users as well. So if I go out of this menu and restart the instrument, it will now, or just go outside the menu, it will ask me for the password. So I enter it like this, and now I am logged in as a user Blush. At the very beginning of this presentation, I also explained that alongside to the test instrument there is supplied an administrative password. So don't forget, this admin is a general password, but alongside to the instrument there is a master password which can be entered in case that you change admin password into something else and forget the password itself. The next menu is profiles. For this particular instrument we have different profiles depending on the region where the instrument is being sold. So this doesn't really mean any special benefit for the users. Then we have the settings menu. Okay, about this settings menu, there are quite some settings inside, and let's try to go one by one to see what is possible. So for example, we can of course enable or disable touch screen. We can also disable sounds of keys if this is somehow annoying. Then we have here a few options for parameters of the appliances. We can, for example, decide whether equipment ID will be incremented automatically, either replicated, or it can be also set to blank. So each time we enter the ID menu of the appliance, there will be a blank space, and we just enter it manually or via barcode scanner or NFC reader, for example. Then for equipment name and retest period, it is about the same logic. Then we have here the possibility to choose different nominal voltage. Also we can choose between different standards, general or this Australian standard. This is for portable RCD and also for RCD. We can, as I mentioned before, also connect very precise external current clamps from the side of the instrument for measuring leakage currents. And here it's also one tricky feature. By default, the results we obtain from the measuring sequence are set to last, but we can change this also to worst. A short explanation maybe. So for example, if we are measuring earth continuity on multiple points, starting maybe with a bad contact, it is maybe better to set to last. So we will actually see on the screen the last result that was when we had good contact. If we put it on the worst, it is again very good feature, but when we are measuring leakages, because or even earth continuity on extension leads, for example, let's say, because if it is set to worst, we have to bend cables, and during bending of these cables we are not constantly looking on the display, and if the device is set to worst, the worst result will be displayed on the instrument itself once the measurement is finished. We also have two different test modes, standard and expert. If we set instrument to expert mode, then at every single auto sequence where the visual or functional inspections are included, these two inspections will be automatically filled, and we will proceed automatically to the next measurement step. We can also set flow of the auto sequence itself. By default it is set to ends if fail, which is correct, because each appliance has to pass all measuring steps to be considered and validated as passed. But for troubleshooting, for example, inside service departments, etc., when we have to repeat some measuring steps or determine whether we have removed the error or not, we can also set it to proceed if fail. But be sure that if you are testing portable appliances periodically, that it is set to ends if fail. We have also the option here to connect different adapters. For example, we can connect to this single-phase appliance tester, three-phase active appliance tester. We actually have two three-phase active appliance testers, which can be connected and to this instrument, and then our appliance tester Omega serves as a master unit and controls the other one. So the option is to also test all sorts of three-phase equipment. Or we can connect A1694, and this is actually a remote tip commander, which is connected between this PS port and this 9-pin serial port, and it can be used for measuring of earth continuity or other measurements where the probe is needed. What is good about this commander is that it has actually a start key on it, so if we have to go under the table, for example, or we have many locations where we have to perform the measurements, we can simply perform it by remote start on the commander. We can also connect an external keyboard to this device in case that we have or we would like to enter appliance names and other parameters, which you will see later, that are many to be added inside the memory organizer. So we have a special dongle we connect here to the side of the instrument, and then we can use any wireless keyboard available. Of course, we have to enable it here. And we have also the limit for the contact voltage, which can be changed here, depending on the environment we are in, and this is strictly related to the measurements of the RCDs. So this is about the settings menu. Then we have here additional menu called devices. Inside this devices menu, we have option to set writing devices or to set reading devices. Let's first focus on the writing devices. If you see here, there are different printers, not only printers but also other devices that can read data from either labels, meaning QR labels, barcode labels, or even NFC tags, which can be high frequency or low frequency. So we simply connect them either to the serial port or via Bluetooth, and we can read the data, which will be then inserted into specific under specific parameters of our appliances. And we can also connect different writing devices. Sorry, I just replaced these two. Nevertheless, it's the same. So here are the reading devices. Before there were writing devices, but the list is more or less similar. So we had, for reading, we have different type of socket scanners, wired Zebec scanner, and also some other reading devices which we are actually not even supplying. They are available free on the market, but due to the very high price, we decided not to offer them alongside our sales portfolio. Then we have here a Bluetooth initialization menu. In case that we have or in case that we get some problems with connection of our peripheral devices, printers, scanners, we can simply just reinitiate this Bluetooth module, which is built inside the instrument, and we can just start using the optional accessory again. Same is here with the initial settings menu, which is here mainly due to the fact that sometimes we get lost on the instrument. Maybe we set some wrong parameters, and to obtain the initial parameters as from delivered from the factory, we simply go inside the initial settings menu and set the instrument to the factory settings. And the last one is the menu about. Inside here we have the information about our appliance tester itself. So we see the serial number, we can see the firmware version, hardware version. This is quite important, as this is future built instrument, and we are constantly upgrading and delivering new firmware versions. So when you connect the instrument to our MESOM PC software, you will get a pop-up information if there is a new firmware available, and from these release notes you can then read what is new and decide whether you want to upgrade your instrument or not. If there would be an external external adapter connected to this device, for example, external 3-phase adapter, we would also see the information about the adapter firmware version and serial number inside this menu. So this is all about general settings, and we will now proceed to other menu. So let's now talk about memory organizer menu. When we first deliver this instrument, there is some kind of demo structure inside, just to present some basic possibilities of our memory organizer here. So you can see that we can actually create a structure in different levels. So for example, we have node, but we can also have several nodes beneath this one. Then we can use project, we can use location, we can use independent element for creating our own structure, and at the end of all these basic structure elements, we have structure elements which are used for storing test results. It is important that test results are stored under appropriate, under correct structure element, because only if they are stored under the correct structure element, then they will be also printed on the test report. So if we check what kind of structure elements for saving test results are available. So if we go here under add structure, and we can now see that for storing test results we have appliance structure element, and we have so this one is appliance, and this one here with 2 dots is appliance full description. What is the difference between these two elements is in the number of available parameters which can be assigned to one specific tested appliance. So for example, if we select this one, which is basic appliance, we see that we can add appliance ID, appliance name, equipment user. This is meant for the user who is using the actual appliance that's being tested. Then we can additionally add location of this appliance. We can add test code, test date, retest period, and the next test will be, of course, automatically calculated based on the retest period given here in months. Additionally to these parameters, we can also add inventory number if this one is needed. These are parameters available for the normal basic appliance, and if we go and check, for example, appliance full description, this FD here stands, of course, for the full description. We can see that here are much more parameters available than before. So we have again these few basic same parameters such as appliance ID, name, user of the equipment, location, inventory number, then test date, retest period, next test. And then we have already a group of appliances. We can add producer, make, year of production of the appliance, what kind of nominal voltage the appliance is using, then the nominal frequency of the appliance, also nominal power, fuse rating, current consumption of the appliance, cosinus phi, number of phases, if we have single phase or 3-phase appliance here. We can add according to which test standard this appliance was tested. These standards can be added manually. Means of protection, whether it is class 1, class 2, or combined or class with functional earth. So all of this can be added here. And the last one available from this list is repairing code. So basically we can choose between these two types of appliances, but there are also not just the appliances, also other structure elements which have the same amount of configurable fields available. For example, if you check here, we have appliance and appliance full description, and then we have, for example, if we are testing medical, we have different type of structure element here, but underneath the parameters are the same. So if you use a basic medical device or medical full description device, the parameters will be the same, just the structure element will be different. And same it is here if we are, for example, testing welding equipment, which we also can with this device, but only in combination with one of the available active adapters. If we return back here into the basic memory organizer, we can see that now we have created a structure, and here on the side we see what kind of options are in respect to these elements. So when we have a structure element appliance or appliance full description, we can add to this structure element different single test measurements, or we can add different auto sequence measurement. So we can basically create ourselves a structure inside this memory organizer and run the tests from the memory organizer itself, though we will also show the other possibility later. So for example, if we are testing a general portable appliance, we can go here under Start Test and select we would like to start an auto sequence for I don't know, for a kettle. We go in the auto sequence and we say, okay, we will use one auto sequence from 5th edition general group of auto sequences. This will be heating and cooking class 1 appliance with live tests, and this means that it will be connected to mains. We simply select one of the auto sequences and we can run test, or we can even adjust the test limits and parameters prior to we start the auto sequence itself. So this is one option, so we can basically start here. The auto test will automatically start. We confirm our visual inspection and proceed to other tests. Of course, now we don't have anything connected here, the test will fail. We simply stop it. We see the results of this auto sequence here, and we can save it, or we can even comment it. So if we add comment, this comment will be a part of our auto sequence. So we can say here that this was just a simple test. So test, press enter and save. And now we can jump back into memory organizer simply by pressing this shortcut button here. So we see that we are in the memory organizer, and under this structure element appliance, we have the test we have just performed, and also what we can see here is the comment of this particular auto sequence. Same can be done via single measurements. So for example, if we go to the next structure element, we click on add measurements, and this shortcut will lead us back into the single test menu. So we go either single test or auto sequences, and we simply select one of the available single tests inside this menu. For example, earth continuity. We set our limits and simply press, one step back like this, add, and simply press start. So now we will simply execute this earth continuity test that we have just added. The measurement will be again failed because we do not have anything connected on the device itself. We can save, or we can even add a comment for the particular measurement itself. We have also the option here to move these appliances from one location to another. So for example, if the appliance was today in this room, and the next time we come around it is located in the other room, we can select here this appliance. We simply go here under the cut option and we move the appliance inside the meeting room, for example, and we say here paste. So this means that appliance is now on the other location. So cut, paste, copy. There is also very good feature here which is called clone. Why this feature is good? Because we can create ourselves empty structure or full structure and presume that we have the same amount of elements or appliances in some other location. So we simply select this element and we say here clone. This will now clone the complete structure, including all auto sequences and preset parameters into another location inside our structure. So we say clone, and this was now cloned here. And now we can also move it here and there if this is needed. Also, for all of these structure elements, there are parameters which can be edited by selecting on the edit option. So we can add different sub-parameters to this specific structure element. If we go back here, so as I said, copy, clone, cut, rename, and also delete. What is also good here, as I explained maybe before in the general menu, we have a shortcut here to access other workspaces, but we have to click here on the top of the screen, and now we can see that on the right side there are different options available. One of the options is search. If we want to search inside this menu, we simply click on the search. We can enter appliance ID, and the instrument will search for this specific ID, status, or even we can filter it based on the test date or retest date. So this is about the search. About the workspaces, as I said, there is a shortcut which leads us back to the workspace manager, and we can here select our newly created workspace, or as I mentioned before, if we are working on different locations, we can use different workspaces and simply choose these workspaces from the memory organizer menu. So this is more or less what I meant to talk about this memory organizer menu, and we will now proceed to other menus of the instrument. So let's now talk about Autosequence menu. So inside the Autosequence menu we have some pre-programmed autosequences from Metrel. Of course, the autosequences are based on the demands from different countries or different European norms or other norms around the world where this instrument is being sold. So for this one particular here, which is equipped with a UK plug, we have the auto sequences which are designed according to Code of Practice 5th edition. But we can also select the auto sequences which are specially designed for being used inside the medical application. So depends on the configuration of the tester itself, there are different auto sequences available. What is also a very good feature about these auto sequences is that the auto sequences can be pre-programmed or modified within the PC software. So if you don't like something about these auto sequences, you can simply download them inside the PC software and modify them per your wishes. For the UK market, we have here 3 different groups. We have group general, where we can find all sorts of pre-programmed auto sequences which are divided into special groups, for example portable handheld, and inside here we see for auto sequences for class 1 or class 2 appliances. Similar it's with heating and cooking, though here in the first level we also see that there are divided, the auto sequences are divided according to the live testing or dead testing and per different length of the cables of the appliances. Then if we proceed, it's about the same logic for heating and cooking. It's a bit different here under IT equipment. Then we have special auto sequences for ISE leads testing. where we can choose between different lengths, whether the appliances are surge protected or whether the appliances have an RCD protection. So also cables including RCDs can be tested with this appliance tester. Then we have special chapter here, or special group of auto sequences, where we have only auto sequences for special portable RCD devices. On the market we can find some manufacturers of portable RCD equipment which are approaching in a different way, so that the portable RCDs are intelligent and they can also detect problems of your mains installation, and therefore they have to be tested accordingly. So inside here are different auto sequences designed for these special accessories. And the last group is for those who do not like to think too much about what kind of group the appliance would fit in, but they just know that the appliance is either class 1, class 2, whether this is an IS Elite or is it PC class 3 or class 2 with functional earth. We have here inside this couple of auto sequences which can be simply selected with a one click and start, and our appliance will be tested accordingly. Once we, for example, start one of these auto sequences, let me, for example, start auto sequence for class 2, because we will be able to finish it as we don't need anything to connect. So we select class 2 appliance, auto sequence for class 2 appliance. Again, we have the option here to change parameters of this auto sequence, so we can go inside insulation resistance test, click on the center of the screen and adjust different parameters. So for the insulation resistance, where we can measure it either from the test socket itself for class 1 devices, or between live and neutral against the external probe, we have therefore different options. So RISO stands for isolation resistance test, which is being performed from the mains test socket alone. So we don't need any other external wire connected, external test lead connected. We simply plug in the device, meaning class 1 device, and the insulation resistance will be performed between live and neutral in short against the PE. If we select, for example, RISO with S, which stands for sound probe, so in this case the insulation resistance test, or also some other tests with a probe, will be executed between live and neutral in short against this black probe here. So for this black probe we can use either test probe or crocodile clip. Or we can do the combination of both tests. If we have a class 1 device with, for example, isolated metal parts, we can also do the combination of the tests. We can choose, for example, different parameters such as different voltages or different currents for earth continuity test, and then duration, limits. What's nice here at this device is that for all limits we have some predefined list of limits available, but we can always enter our unique custom limit if needed. Meaning, if there are some changes in the code of practice or other standards, we have always the possibility to enter our own custom limit inside. So once we set all limits accordingly, we can simply, maybe another one, it's this multiple points here. This is also explained in one of our how-to videos when we are testing extension cable on reel. So multiple points, if we select this option here, this means that the insulation resistance test will repeat as many times as we want until we finish it by ending the loop. So we can also show this here with this particular example. So we press start. Now first is our visual inspection. We confirm it here. We can also say that some of the parts of this visual examination are failed, though this will not allow us to proceed with the test, as the tester is set to end if fail. So we will select here that everything passed. We finish this first step. Now this pop-up warning, which was also explained in some other videos, we confirm it. And now we start with the insulation resistance test. We can now finish this first step of our insulation resistance, and we can make another one. Why we can repeat it? Because we selected multiple points testing. So we finish the second step, and we can now end the loop, which means that the instrument will proceed with the next step, and this is in our case insulation substitute leakage with the probe. So after all these tests are finished, we see that we have two insulation resistance test results here, sub-leakage and the result of our visual inspection. Then we simply press save, and the instrument jumps into the memory organizer menu. Now the logic it's a bit different as it was before, where we first selected appliance and then added the auto sequence or single measurements, though here we already executed the auto sequence itself, and now we select to which appliance these auto sequence results will be dedicated. So we select here hot plate and press save. This means that now the results of this auto sequence are securely stored inside our memory organizer. So I can go now a few steps back. So we are now here again in this auto sequence menu. I can also show you the other auto sequences which are developed according to ISCEN 62353, which is the medical standard. And for those who are not too much familiar with this standard, we have also some very nice user guides or brochures available on our website to download, where we have a better explanation about this medical standard, medical requirements, and also about the medical measurements. What is nice with these auto sequences here, I will just briefly show, is that there are pictures inside of connecting diagrams. So if you are not familiar how to connect the medical appliance to our appliance tester, here will be a small help inside. As you can see here, before any of the tests is being executed, you see how to correctly connect this medical device to our appliance tester. But as we don't have anything here, I will just simply skip this. So this is about all I had to tell about the auto sequence menu, and we will now proceed with the last menu available, which is the single test menu. So let's now talk about single test menu. Single test menu is probably not so interesting for portable appliance testing due to the fact that each single appliance has to be evaluated through the whole procedure, so meaning through the whole auto sequence. A bunch of tests have to follow one another to be sure that appliance is checked accordingly and it's in good shape. But the instrument itself, so our appliance tester, has the ability to select each individual single test separately. This is inside here, let's say, mainly for troubleshooting. So in case that you have an appliance which has somehow failed during the auto sequence procedure, you can simply jump inside the single test menu and try to repeat just a specific measurement to be sure whether it failed due to some inappropriate connection, maybe there was some loss of connection during the test, or the device itself is actually damaged. What kind of measurements are available and which options are available inside this single test menu? So first of all, we can use this area group filter. Area group filter shows us for which type of devices this appliance tester is designed for testing, let's say. So we can test with this equipment normal portable appliances. We can also test welding equipment and medical equipment. If we would have some other model of MI3360, we would, for example, only see portable appliances or portable appliances and welding. But in this case, where we have the M model, we see all these 4 area groups available. The difference between different area groups is in whether we select just portable appliances. The selection of the measurements will shrink to just those that are applicable for testing of portable appliances. If I select medical equipment area group, then inside the leakages, for example, I will see the leakages which are applicable for medical appliances. So I see now equipment leakage and applied par leakage and touch leakage for medical devices. If I switch this area group filter to portable appliances, the leakages are now completely different. So we see substitute leakage, differential leakage, P leakage, which is a direct leakage method, touch leakage, and one very good feature or measuring function which is called leaks and power, which enables us to measure power of the device under test and also touch leakage and differential leakage at the same time. Of course, if you return back to all measurements, you will see that we have available pre-designed or predefined visual inspections according to different standards. Then we have the option for testing earth continuity. We can choose here for the earth continuity, we can choose between different test currents and different test ports. This setup of parameters can be also done inside the Autosequence menu. So before we start Autosequence, we can also adjust all these parameters. So for the earth continuity, we have the following options. We can choose whether we would like to test earth continuity between main socket and this P probe test terminal, or we can choose the MSP ICP. This means that the earth continuity will be measured between the main test socket and the ISC port. So this is applicable for testing of extension leads or ISC leads. Then we can also choose between different test currents. This model has the ability to test with 200 milliamps, 10 amps and 25 amps, though we have also a smaller model which only enables test current up to 200 milliamps. Then we can choose, of course, different duration and different limits. This is about earth continuity. Same measurement, but the caption is different because it is applicable for the medical appliance testing. Then we have the insulation resistance menu, from where we can select insulation for portable appliances, this one being executed here or with a probe. Then we have insulation resistance for welding and insulation resistance for medical. The main differences between these measurements are in the predefined or preset limits. The measuring principle is the same. Under leakages, we have several different options for leakage current measurements. Resolution is in microamps due to the fact that the instrument is designed also for medical appliance testing. So we have substitute leakage measurement, differential, P, touch leakage, we have leaks and power, we have primary leakage for welding, normal leakage for welding, equipment leakage, applied par leakage and touch leakage for medical appliance testing. Under the power, we have this function where we basically measure the complete power of appliance under test. So we have the real power, apparent power, we have power factor, we have total harmonic distortion on current, on voltage. So a lot of parameters inside this power measurement. This is very good for troubleshooting on your appliances. And we have the RCD module here, which is applicable to test all sorts of portable RCDs, but we can also test an RCD of our mains installation in case that in that case the RCD test will be performed from the instrument's mains plug to the installation RCD. The instrument it's battery powered, so also in case that of course we will trip out the mains RCD, the instrument will be still powered on, so we can simply rearm the RCD of the installation and proceed with other measurements if needed. Inside this menu we have for portable RCDs we have option to measure trip out time. Then we have the possibility to measure P conductor of the RCD. So in case we have an RCD which needs to be armed during the measurement of P, we will apply during this measurement the full voltage, and we will measure the P or the earth resistance of our RCD. Then we have the PRCD probe test. This is a special test for the RCDs or PRCDs I was mentioning before. Then we have also the option to test this special type of RCDs here. This is the functional testing of these special RCDs. That's it. So we actually went through all of the menus available for the RCD testing. So we can actually switch now to the function other. Inside here we have the option to test polarity of our IEC cords or extension leads. Again, one very nice feature at this polarity test is that we can perform polarity between these two terminals in normal mode, meaning that the instrument will generate voltage voltage and current for the test signal itself, or we can actually use active polarity test. This is important when we are measuring polarity on the extension cables with equipped portable RCDs, because we have to arm the RCD to check the polarity itself. And the last one here is the menu from where we can select functional inspection. These functional inspections that are predefined from Metrel have the possibility to add criteria, so mechanical operation, etc. We can also add some additional parameters here, but what is important is that we can also measure during this functional inspection, also measure the power and confirm whether the power of the appliance meets the inspection criteria. I will stop this, return back to the menu, to the main menu. This is practically all about the single test menu, and also about the main menu of our test instrument. So let's now talk about optional accessories. In this presentation we will talk about optional accessories which need a little bit more explanation, because they are some kind unique, and if you are just seeing them on the website or inside our catalog, you maybe don't know what is their main purpose and how they should be used. For example, we have here one such adapter. This is adapter for special design for the UK market. It has this 110 volts plug, and here it is equipped with this normal plug, which is a bit the P pin is a bit longer. Why is it like this? Because the device itself enables us to test both 230 volt appliances and 110 volt appliances. But of course, you know that if the device itself is supplied by 230 volts and we somehow attach 110 volt appliance to the instrument, this will damage the appliance itself. But in case where we supply this appliance tester from 110 volts and insert this adapter inside the appliance tester, we can then also test the appliances which are designed for connecting to 110 volts. This prolonged pin here will guarantee us that in case of our tester is being connected to 230 volts, we will not apply dangerous or too high voltage to the appliance under test. The next in the row is this nice battery operated Bluetooth scanner. There are two options of this scanner available, one for scanning plain barcodes and the other one for scanning barcodes and QR codes. There will be some video also showing how to pair this device with our test instrument and how to use it. Another one of our accessories for reading is this NFC reader, and it's also writer. So this is a special type of equipment which can be used for reading of NFC tags, and as I mentioned, we can also write the information inside the NFC tags. The information that will be written inside the tags, it's the same as we can write on the QR codes. So what kind of tags are available? So we can have these stickers or these knobs which can be mounted or screwed on the devices, and we also have these small cable ties available, so you can basically equip any kind of appliance with these NFC tags. What is the benefit of the NFC tags? Of course, if your devices are used outside, the labels can be damaged, but the NFC tags will, the information inside the NFC tags will stay intact. We can also connect wired barcode and QR code scanners. So this one, for example, is a universal barcode QR code 2D scanner, so it can basically recognize any kind of barcode or QR code type available. We have also just a normal barcode reader, so this one is simply being attached to the side of the instrument and you can read normal barcodes. Then we have also two supported printers. This one is small, it's battery operated, and it's in two options as a Bluetooth, or it can be also in a wired option. Though in any case Bluetooth is always available, and I think that the Bluetooth option, due to the fact that it's very small and light, it's even better. So let's prefer that it is a Bluetooth printer from which you can print barcodes and QR codes. Then we have this bit bigger printer. It's from Zebra. It has a very large amount of labels stored inside. I think there are about 2,500 of them. So it's for mass volume testing. In case that you are in some sort of workshop or something like this, this is probably then the best option. It's a desktop printer. It has to be supplied from mains, but it can be also either Bluetooth or used with a Bluetooth or with a wired connection. Sometime during presentation of our instrument, I also mentioned that we have possibility to connect very precise leakage current clamp to the instrument. So these are the clamps. There are two probes which we connect from the left side of the instrument, and we can then measure leakage currents of our appliances. Then we have this probe or tip commander, which has integrated test button here. So this one is specially designed for measurement where the probe is needed. So either for earth continuity measurement or measurements of insulation resistance with probe, touch leakage, or other measurements, yeah, where the probe is needed. So this is again one very good piece of device which is available as an optional accessory. The last one, which I would say a couple of words, it's this active three-phase adapter. The active three-phase adapter is available in two options. This one covers everything. The lower or the smaller brother of it doesn't cover welding equipment testing, so this one is for all three-phase appliance testing plus welding equipment testing. As mentioned in some video before, you can connect it to the test instrument. The test instrument is then the master instrument, which is controlling all measuring functions of this three-phase adapter. So you can see that it is equipped with 16 amps, 32 amps, and also these single-phase sockets. So basically you can connect every possible appliance to the tester. And what is also a very good feature is that the three-phase adapter itself can do the live leakage testing up to the current of 40 amps for duration of 10 minutes. So that's about everything on our optional accessories, which are somehow special. Of course, there are many other optional accessories available, but for this you will have to go and search onto our website or inside our sales documentation, where everything is well described with pictures and our ordering numbers. Well, that's all for today. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. I'll see you next time.